Yeah, so I figured we could do it. I was originally like, we'll do it today, but I said, why don't we wait for Alex? We'll get Alex's input too.
Alex probably has some shit to say about it too.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless, let's intro, and then we'll talk about that, and then we'll do Resident Evil.
Yeah. Yep.
I am
Gay.
Holy shit. That was fucking funny. Okay. All right. So that's the end of the show.
Thanks for tuning in. High octane episode today. It's just 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Some silence.
Hello and welcome to the Synapse Misfire Podcast, the 41st installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, along with our co-host, Jordan.
That's me.
I'm not exactly firing on all 8 today. I'm not feeling that great, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, not COVID related. But yeah.
Well, I am fully. What? My cat is just touching me. He's being weird right now. He's stepping up. He's poking me.
He's literally booping you through the bars in your chair.
But I'm fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
Fully vaccinated. I didn't feel any side effects. I felt like a bit strange the day after, but that's regardless.
Yeah, that was the chip sinking in with
that was the
with your brain.
the full ATX extended ATX motherboard. Yeah. That server rack that's over there, that's actually what was injected into me.
Yeah, I can see that. It's nice that they 3D printed you like a model, so you'd know what to expect.
Yeah.
So that's very nice.
So Jordan, if someone wanted to see the show, listen to this show somewhere that's not YouTube, where would they have to go? What platforms would they find the show?
Would they find the show on? Oh, that's a good question, Chris.
And
you're a smart guy.
And if it's not too much trouble, where could they contact us?
Now this is too much trouble. All right. So,
how's our audio, by the way?
That's a good point. I think it's fine. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. I would be because that was a really good preamble, and I'd be really upset to lose that.
Yeah, for sure. So, if you wanted to watch this show anywhere but YouTube, obviously YouTube, for podcast only content, go to Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Radio Public, which should be Republic. We won't talk about that. Breaker, Pocket Cast, my podcast app of choice, and of course, RSS Feed, Chris. RSS Feed. Put that shit in your favorite app. Listen to us. You can also find us on Spotify. If you don't know that by now, get the fuck out of here. That was like episode 3.
Spotify was the first big milestone.
Yeah, it was like episode 3, dude.
I thought Spotify was going to be this like unreachable goal, and then Apple Podcast was going to be like trying to ascend to speak to God directly.
Yeah, basically. But it actually ended up being fairly straightforward. So you can find the show there. As always, if you're listening on YouTube, you can drop us a comment. If you want to contact us, you can message us on Instagram at Synapse Misfire. That's our Instagram handle.
Obviously, all those other platforms are great, but they won't be hosting our IRL content that we will release at some point.
Sometime, yeah.
We do have one actually planned.
A good one.
But I think it's going to be a good one. Because our next pair of episodes, 42 and 3, are going to be with our boy Alex. He returns.
He returns from the dead. I mean, we didn't kill him. Don't say that. Shh. Was I not supposed to say that?
No, you weren't.
Fuck. Anyway, so, yeah, you can contact us, of course, comment section, Instagram, or, as always, synapsemisfire@pm.me. That's via email. Send us comments, questions, concerns, and death threats. Now, Chris, speaking of comments.
Questions?
Potential questions.
Concerns?
Not so much concerns.
Death threats?
Not this time.
Okay, good. Okay.
So, we got a very elaborate, very sophisticated question asked to us by a listener. So thank you for that. That would be Micah R. He commented on last episode, or actually the episode before, on our YouTube channel. Left us a comment with a question. I replied to him. I let him know. Next episode, when we have Mr. Alex on the show,
Yep.
The one, the only, the mythical creature Alex, when we have him on the show, we're going to break that question down, and that will probably be a major topic point. So look out for that. We will answer your question. We're just not doing it this episode because we want Alex's input on it.
But it is it's a very good conversation piece.
Absolutely.
Something to talk about. I have a lot to say about like what you asked, and the comment in general was very good.
Yeah, and thank you for the support as well.
I do appreciate any support, and I do, we're gonna keep going regardless because we like to talk about things anyway. We might as well put it on the internet. What is my cat doing? I heard him messing with something. He's fucking chewing.
Is he chewing your Quest?
Get out of here!
What's he chewing?
He was chewing a fucking power wire. He was trying to kill himself.
Oh my god! Thank God.
He was chewing a goddamn. He was chewing a
under there, just so you know.
120 volt extension cable.
We haven't mentioned this yet, but this episode, if you didn't download by the title, which you should have known, this is solely going to be maybe 2 stories and then the Resident Evil Village spoiler cast.
Resident Evil Village 8, baby!
Village 8, baby.
So if you haven't played...
Or, if you don't care, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was not the right episode. This fucking cat, I heard him run all the way down the house.
This cat's really damning us right now.
He's mad that I yelled at him.
But, yeah. This is not the episode for you if either you don't care, or
you plan on playing
the game and care about spoilers. So, sorry if this isn't for you. Stick around for next week's episode. It'll be a really good one. And there will be some IRL content as well at some point very shortly. Stick around for all that. But, before we begin, brief story. For those who may, listen pretty often, they know that I usually get us coffee.
Yeah, this is part of the Synapse Misfire lore.
Yeah, yep. We get a nice icy boys on the way here. Some icy bean water. On the way here, I usually pick it up, bring it to Chris. Now I showed up today and I had about 75 napkins from Dunkin.
Yeah,
Donuts.
you had you had like a stack.
Yeah,
I accrue napkins, really. Mm-hmm. Like, every time I go to a restaurant and I get napkins, I shove them in my glove box. Mm-hmm. So I have a shitload of napkins in my glove box. But it was, like, about that many napkins.
And fun fact, those were from that visit.
That one visit.
So I pull on up, right? Chris, for a prerequisite to the story, Chris gave me a $5 Dunkin gift card as a joke and was like, yeah, I don't use it. Here, take it.
Yeah, that was given to me, I do remember this, by someone I worked with. She handed this to me, like, before Christmas, like, here. I said, sick, dude. Thanks. And I put it in my wallet, and then I forgot about it, and then I was looking through my wallet, and I was like, oh.
And then he gave it to me.
And I gave it to Jordan.
So, I pull up, first of all, the total. It was, I think, $6.75, right, between Chris's coffee and mine. The card was $5, so I hand the card to the guy. Swipes the card. I see the value go down to $1.75. I give him my card. And then he gives me the receipt and hands me Chris's coffee. And I was like, yeah, have a good day. And I'm like, hang on. First of all, number one coffee's not $7. And number 2, I show him the receipt. I'm like, yeah, I need this, right? So he hands me my coffee. He spills some of it on the counter, just sticks it in my hand. There's coffee all over the lid, and he goes, "You want some napkins with that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take a few napkins." And this dude just sticks his arm in the napkin dispenser like fucking Superman reaching through a wall and yanking someone through, and just pulls out a wad of napkins and just shoves them in my face. So that's where those napkins came from. I literally had a stack of napkins. Just stuffed
probably more money in napkins than he did in coffee.
Yes.
Like, he fucking wiped out the entire goddamn Amazon.
Yeah.
With the amount of napkins he gave you.
This dude must have been like full like crab hand on the napkins. Just
Lego hand.
Just fucking handed me. So I just pulled away and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? He gave me like one coffee. He handed me just a stack of napkins, like a 3-inch stack of napkins. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
This is like the peak fast food employee experience. You never worked like fast food, did you?
No, I worked in a kitchen, but not for fast food.
But not like fast food. Fast food is like, the culture there is like, I don't give a single fuck about anything around me right now.
Yeah, you wanna check the time and then deuces, you know.
Exactly. So basically, when I worked at a Burger King, I did a lot of dumb shit like that too. But I worked in the kitchen, so most of it was just me stealing food. I would eat like $5 of food during my whole shift every day.
Yeah.
I just like take fries and nuggets and shit.
Hell yeah, dude.
And
it's probably the only good part about that job, or even only halfway decent part of that job.
Yeah, actually, there was one person I worked with that I enjoyed working with. Everyone else was kind of a dickhead, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
You get that. But now you work with two dickheads, so could be worse.
I work with several dickheads,
Yeah.
several of them.
Yeah.
Especially that guy Jordan. I don't like him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like him either. I was thinking we should I don't know, maybe back over him.
Back over him.
Yes, I almost got backed over the other day.
That did happen.
We won't go too much in detail. Yeah, I almost got backed over. That was fun.
In the parking lot, yeah.
In the parking lot, yeah.
Someone had it out for you.
Yeah, they were like,
well,
they looked in the mirror and they were like,
I can't really blame someone for almost backing over Jordan, because Jordan's very small. He's I don't know if this is ever been a point of insecurity for you. You're just kind of a little guy.
Yeah, I got you. But hang on, no. Here's the plot hole in that theory, right? I was next to my coworker who's 6'2".
Oh yeah, he is taller than me.
Yes.
And that's how I measure a tall person. If I see someone taller than me, I'm like, oh shit, that's a tall person. Because I've always growing up, I was always the tallest person in the room.
Yeah.
And
so
that's the case a lot of times now.
Like, what the fuck?
But yeah. We're the same height if I have my boots on. But if I took my boots off, we're both
a little bit. Yeah.
Both barefoot. He's taller than me.
Yeah. So. I was right next to him. And the best part is after he was like, I thought about pushing you. I was like, oh, thank you.
That is nice. All right. That is fair. Okay. You are a little guy, but you were standing next to a fucking giraffe. So.
A fucking giraffe, dude.
I hope he hears that. It's not it was a joke. I'm sorry. Don't hit me.
No.
Don't run me over in your Miata. I still don't understand. It's Miatas are a fucking anomaly to me. Legitimately. Yeah. I've worked with a few guys that had Miatas, and they were usually kind of shorter, but there's this guy who's 5'10", average height in a Miata. I'm like, how? How does this logistically work? If I was much taller than your height,
yeah, 5'8",
someone much taller than any taller than you would have issues in a Miata. I think
you would think, yeah. I don't know how he drives a Miata, but man, fuck, he fucking loves that thing. It fits him too. I don't know, man.
Fine.
It's I don't know. It fits him. It's weird.
If you like the car, you like the car.
Listen, I'll be real with you. I feel like he probably modified it. Because he works on cars, so
yeah.
he probably fucking modified it to be nice and comfortable.
I mean,
fucking love it.
Because I've had issues fitting in bigger cars than that.
Yeah.
I was gonna get. This is a fun fact about the Chris Lore. That's not the fun fact. But
he has indigestion.
Here's a fun fact. Before I got my Volkswagen. This was months before I got my Volkswagen. But my dad and I looked at a 1989 Corvette.
Ooh.
I was like, that shit is fucking awesome. And I'm sitting in this car. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And we were about to drive it. And it was the automatic. Because I couldn't drive stick at the time. This is the automatic. So I put it in reverse. I looked out the window. And I realized... I had a realization. The windshield stopped at my nose. I could see over the windshield. I'm like, this ain't gonna happen. But I guess Corvettes are notoriously very tight. Yeah. A lot of guys bolt the seats directly to the floor.
Yeah, so that way you get a little bit lower.
So I'm still thinking about it. I want to get the first generation Z06. They only made them in a 6-speed manual. Mm-hmm. I do want to get one, but it's $15,000, and I can't swing that right now. Maybe someday, but
maybe someday, right?
When I get rid of my other car, I'll put that towards one of them.
Yeah, that'd be fucking sick. That's a Corvette. Yeah. It's speed manual. That's fucking mint.
I'll be fucking banging through gears down the highway. I will become the worst driver. Actually, I'll be weaving through traffic, going 180 miles an hour.
180 that way. All I have to say is if you do crash, you better hold on to that stick shift and take it with you. Fucking take it.
Well, if I notice an impact is imminent, I'm just gonna grab the handbrake, the parking brake, and just go and just pull and then pray. I'm not even religious, but I just pray.
You just, oh Lord Jesus. All this while you're colliding into a tree.
All this while I'm actually during the prayer, I actually meet Jesus.
And
That's what happens.
He grabs you and he just throws you into the tree. He's like, get the fuck out of here, guy.
He picks me up. He starts punching me in the mouth.
He's fucking beating you for your lunch money.
All right, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, fuck, dude. But...
Isn't this about Resident Evil, this show?
It was supposed to be, but we... So that was the napkin story. Chris, did you have something you wanted to mention?
Yeah.
How the fuck did we go from napkins to Jesus beating you to death?
I have no fucking idea. I don't know.
Shit.
Yeah. It is with great displeasure that I announce that I'm getting rid of my truck. Because I want a bigger truck.
Yeah.
I wanted a small pickup for a long time. And I have a small pickup. And I do really like the truck still. But I kind of want something bigger. I want to get a camper eventually. And I want to tow a camper. I do have a story. I do have another story related to campers.
Hell yeah.
This is a quick one, though.
Yeah.
The road I drive home on every day.
Mm-hmm.
The road I drive home on every day. I've been driving past. There's a farm stand on the road, like a produce farmers
Across
market.
from...
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a farmers market, and the past few days in this farmers market, there's a
camper there. Yeah, I just saw it.
There's a truck, like I think similar to what I had. It might have been a Silverado, like a half-ton, with this like 30-foot camper on it, and the thing's like doing a wheelie. Like I drove past and I go, that truck has no business towing that camper.
Yep.
No business. Those campers are fucking heavy.
Yeah, it's like a fucking house on wheels, dude.
You need a dually for one of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason I would ever really get a dually.
It's to tow something like that.
Yeah, but I don't want a big camper like that.
Yeah,
something
that's
I can tow with like a half ton, because I don't want like a quarter ton, or I don't want a 3/4 ton or like a 1 ton truck. Really.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I saw that thing on the way here. Actually, I was like, holy shit! I actually looked at it. I was like, we should take that shit camping. Steal it.
Because I did want to build a truck bed camper, and I started getting supplies and stuff for it, but too small, and it's too hard to find a bed cap that works
with that
right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Probably. Damn.
It's about my fucking brackets for my spice rack.
Oh, okay.
He's just gonna tell me that he bent them because I need them bent at 1 3/4 instead of 1 inch.
Hey Jordan, I bent the metal. And that was it. That's it. He just hangs up.
He just fucking blows his phone apart. He shoots it.
He just squeezes it. And it just
like
into dust.
Like a burner phone. He's like, I bent it.
Like every fucking scene in Breaking Bad. It's one phone conversation. The phone gets snapped in half.
Oh really?
Regardless.
All right though. Yeah, the truck. That blows. But
it do.
But
look, in future we will be having
sets in the camper.
Yes, we'll be having truck time with bigger truck.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't spill the oil on this one.
Yeah. Did I mention on the show? I know I've mentioned it to you, but did I mention on the show we had a small argument during the oil change because I insisted the filter was hand tight and then a 1/4 turn.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out it was too loose and I had to get at it with a wrench.
Oh yeah, because it was leaking, right?
Because it was leaking. So
yeah.
Jordan was correct. I do concede. Jordan was correct.
I fucking Alex's face. Every time I think of that moment, I think of like me under the truck turning it, and then looking up to over the engine bay and just seeing Alex like a fucking gopher looking down at me.
Well,
Alex, me boy. I can't wait till next episode.
Yep, next pair of episodes is gonna be something good.
Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Anyway,
real fucking good.
Anyway, it's Resident Evil time.
You've been warned. You have 5 seconds.
You have 5 seconds to leave, or else
drop a like.
Or else I will spoil the game. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There's
Ethan
a baby
dies.
in the game.
Ethan dies twice.
Like 4 times, actually.
Several times.
Several times.
He gets his hands cut off a lot in this one, too.
So, Chris.
So,
What did you... Just generalized.
Jesus Christ.
God
Quit
damn.
throwing shit in my house, dude.
Generalized. What did you think of the game?
I thought it was fucking great.
Dude, it was fucking incredible.
I enjoyed the shit out of it. I'm like really a bitch when it comes to horror games, but that game made me want to play more horror games.
Yeah. No.
That shit's fucking fun.
The pacing, the story, the combat, dude, all of that game was so good. So
I do have
fucking good.
I do have one regret with my playthrough. Is in a moment of rage, in a moment of weakness, some may say, I had dropped the difficulty from regular to casual because I was under the impression that you could change it back. You cannot.
Was that in the Mother Miranda battle?
That was in the no, that was in the when you're in the warehouse in the stronghold to go to the warehouse and there's fucking a million goddamn lichens.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to fight the big bitch with the hammer.
Dude, the big bitch with the hammer. I saved all my Magnum shots. I didn't use them because I knew it was like a fucking superior weapon. And then I just fucking two-pieced that guy.
Yeah, I should have done that.
I just like happened to pull it out. I said, oh, I'll kill him. I just fucking two-pieced him. It was the quickest fight ever.
God damn.
I just fucking annihilated him. But yeah, I played on standard or whatever, normal. And I would argue, in my opinion, granted we were on like a time constraint. We really wanted to get the spoiler cast out. I wish I had played on hardcore. The Mother Miranda fight would have sucked. But the rest of the game, I think, I should have played on hardcore just because I kind of breezed through it. I died like twice.
Yeah.
Except for the final boss battle. I died 4 times.
Disregarding the last, I don't know. After you fight Big Bitch, there's like another 2 hours of the game.
Yeah.
So disregarding that portion, because that doesn't really count, because I didn't die at all, because the game was a fucking breeze. Before that, I died like twice. Like twice. No, I died 3 times, and it was all because I did a stupid.
Yeah, it was like you fucked up or something.
There was the one time when you first start running after being kidnapped initially.
Yeah, and you have the handcuffs, right?
Yeah, when you first start running, and there's that room you get into that has the crate. And then the fucking thing, the rollers come towards you.
I died twice there.
I died once because I was like, ooh, crate. And I was like, where's the punch button? Why can't I punch the crate open? And then I looked up, and literally, I might even have, because I recorded some of the game. I'm going to have footage of this. I went, what? And I just got eviscerated.
That's fucking awesome.
So then I found the little crevice you're supposed to go into.
Yeah.
And then I died twice to the baby.
The baby?
Yeah.
I juked the fucking baby out. I
did that a bit. Well, you have to.
Yeah, you have to kind of like juke it around a table and shit. So in general, I fucking loved the game. It's one of those games where like I have 8 hours of playtime. I paid $60 for it, but I don't feel like, man, that wasn't worth $60. I'm like, yeah, that was a fucking awesome experience.
That was a quality game. That was a quality game. It didn't drag too long.
It didn't drag too long, and it was 8 hours of good, like memorable content. Comparatively to like an 8-hour game where I'm like, man, there was like 3 hours of good shit and like 5 hours of just exploring and like, yeah, it sucked. Everything was pretty memorable.
Yeah, I think it was like, there's a lot of games now, especially because every game has this expectation to be like 20 or 30 hours at least.
Yeah.
So you end up with like 10 hours, not even 5 hours of story, and then just filler.
Like walking. Just point A to point B. Like everything was really well paced and spread out in that game.
Like there's very few games that have the right to be like 40 or 50 hours.
Yeah.
Like Red Dead Redemption 2, we talk about it all the time. Red Dead Redemption 2 fills out that 55 hours, 60 hours very well.
Yeah. There's a couple moments, but in general very well deserved.
The Witcher 3 fills out that like 40 hours very well.
Yeah. Yep. Valhalla, yeah, it's pretty good. I won't say it's probably not Witcher or Red Dead level, but there's a little bit of drag on. But it's the same thing where you find I have 80 hours in the game, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I could have done with like 20 less hours, but in general, A lot of good shit there. So Village though is just like 8 to 10 hours, and it's just go.
Yeah, it's just boom, 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 boom. Every moment in that game seems relevant.
Yeah, very fucking relevant. So let's pull back a little, right? So that's our standing. We liked the game.
I enjoyed it very much. Jordan enjoyed it very much as well.
I loved it. I can't recommend it more. So let's talk like actual like story, narrative kind of spoilers. What did you think about the whole like plot twist? Like I was fucking blown away.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. I was like, and okay, so Miranda shows up, you get fucking your heart ripped out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's the end. That's really shocking, but that's the end, I guess. And then there's the plot twist. He's a moldman. He's made of mold.
From the bakers. He was mutamycete or whatever it is.
You fight the mega mycete. That's the thing.
And that's what he's made of as well.
But no, he's made of the K-Doos, what the mold's called.
Oh, really? Okay.
So he's made of the mold. He's been dead the whole time.
Since
Resident Evil 7.
And Chris, I had a fucking epiphany, by the way.
Yeah.
So, Resident Evil 7 when he died. You know what scene they showed where he died?
I don't remember specifically.
So the scene they show as the point in which he died in Resident Evil 7 was when he first got to the house in the attic and Jack Baker punched him and said, "Welcome to the family, son."
Oh, that's what. Okay.
That whole like infamous scene? It clipped afterwards. I'm like, wait a minute. Jack said, "Welcome to the family, son."
That makes sense.
And fucking killed him and turned him into a mold
guy.
A mold man.
A moldman.
And that was like unless that was completely coincidental, that was planned from 7 at that point. Fucking genius.
That had to have been planned ahead of time.
Fucking genius.
That had to have been planned ahead of time. I don't believe that was a coincidence.
Because literally, that's the scene. You walk in the attic to escape the house, and that's the scene they show in 8 where he died. It's literally him getting grabbed. He goes, "Welcome to the family, son," and then he dies. And then after that point, he's a mold man. Incredible.
I do have a couple of things to talk about, just game technically wise.
Ooh, technically, okay.
Like
gameplay
nothing to do
or
with
graphically?
the story of the game, but
Yeah.
the UI I found a bit painful to use at times.
A little bit. A couple times.
I was very, very annoyed to see no FOV slider.
I have that on my notes, man. FOV slider, that game needs it bad.
And I played a little bit with ray tracing, but I turned it off.
So
I didn't notice too much of a difference anyway.
So really. I didn't play with ray tracing just because I have a 2070, so I was more like I just want a good looking game with good frame rate more than anything. So I didn't even touch ray tracing. But it, the game still looked incredible.
Another thing is
I did have to crank the sensitivity, by the way. That sensitivity out of the gate is horrible.
I did too. I had to crank that. Every time Lady Dimitrescu's daughters showed up, my frame rate tanked because of all the flies.
I was gonna ask you, every time I got attacked by flies, that would happen. Or what's the other creature that does something similar? It's not flies, but it's some other like particle effect that happens.
The lichens. When you're out in the village, like in general, the lichens, when you kill them, they disintegrate. Mm-hmm. And the werewolves, they disintegrate too. Yeah.
There was another creature like the daughters where they attack you and it does that whole flies on the display or whatever, but it was something different. That tanked my frame rate as well.
Yeah, that shit just tanks your frame rate, actually.
I think that was more a glitch than anything. Like, I don't think it's, like, really, like, pushing your PC to limits. I think it's just a technical issue just straight up with the game.
Yeah. It might just be it's rendered weird.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Yeah, but... That was about it for technical issues. Did you have any like glitches or anything that you?
No, it's a very well put together game.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I had a pretty rock solid frame rate, except for those few moments with certain particle effects. I obviously had the FOV slider. I really wish was there. I don't know why that was never there. It looks a lot worse on console when you're playing with a controller. It's like disorienting.
Well, because I usually that's my default. That's the first thing I change in video games is I
FOV.
max the FOV.
Oh, yeah. This is the first game that's ever made me honestly feel like a little bit dizzy at some points.
It's not even because motion sick. It's just because FOV in games is never really even close to FOV in real life.
No. I'm looking at like a 27-inch monitor whatever size your monitor is, it's not going to be never. It's
So
never
it just
gonna be
feels
close.
like, and the way FOV is rendered most of the time, it feels like I'm looking at everything like this.
Yeah.
For reference, I put my hands right in front of my eyes.
Yeah. I was surprised with how pretty solid the gunplay was too compared to 7. 7 was it was what it was.
There's the initial segment when you first get attacked, and you feel you have that helplessness feeling you had at the beginning of 7. But then that kind of fades away. You get guns, and then you just collect ammo, a shit ton of ammo, and then you just have this shotgun, and you feel powerful.
Yeah, I had so much ammo.
You become the traumatic incident.
Yeah, I had so much ammo throughout in that game, and I have a feeling that was because of the difficulty I played on, which is why I think I should have played hardcore. But I had so much ammo, so many herbs, so many crafting supplies, like it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, it made for a pretty awesome experience because I wasn't really mad at any point. I wasn't like, fuck, I keep dying. I was very much just really into the world and the story. So I kind of didn't mind that I, kind of breezed through it.
Yeah.
So it was a nice experience.
It was a good experience. I'm surprised especially with the state of like how games are released now. I'm surprised with how well put together the game was right out of the gate.
Yeah, right out of the gate, day one. Did you have any trouble with puzzles at any point? Any specific puzzles you can remember?
So, there was. Let's see. There are a couple of things.
I had one specifically that kicked my ass for like at least 15-20 minutes.
Puzzles specifically, no, really. But there was a couple incidents where I thought I soft locked the game because I just missed something super obvious. Like there's the point where you have to go to Lady D's quarters, and they have there's the cutscene where she's looking out the window and you look
pissed
at her and she has her hand, she hangs up a key on the wall, and it's super obvious. You look at it for like 30 fucking seconds, and I missed it. I missed it. I'm walking around. I'm looking for this key. I'm like, how do I get out of here? I can't go back. Did I soft lock the game? Did I do a sequence skip or something? So I reloaded my save, and then I was like, oh, the key.
You fucking idiot. Yeah.
Oh, the key.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the with Heisenberg's factory. I got lost in there a lot.
I got lost in there a lot as well.
One was because I just did a stupid thing. I wasn't paying attention. You know how you're supposed to do puzzles on like the bottom floor and then go up top and then raise the shopkeeper lift up. Yeah. I wasn't paying attention. I thought you were supposed to go down. Because for some reason it didn't register. So I got so lost and so confused on what to do. I just reloaded my save.
Yeah.
And then I figured it out.
Yeah. I had one specific puzzle. I won't go into too much yet because I want to talk a little bit on this specific part of the game, and I know you will too. When you get captured by the doll, the puzzle where you search like this mannequin of Mia and you go in the medical room and you get all these things, you clean off the ring. I could not figure out what to do after I cleaned off the ring, and then my dumbass was like, all right, take a step back. What the fuck am I doing? And I was like, wait a minute. This is a Resident Evil game. You can inspect items in your inventory.
See, that's the thing. That's because the reason I didn't make that exact same mistake was because that same thing boofed me before. When you get the last mask in the castle, you fight the last of the Dimitrescu daughters. I say
Domitrescu is what it is. Domitrescu
daughters. You fight the last of them. And you get the mask, and the door shuts behind you. You're supposed to pick up that animal skull and then take the back off. Yeah. I had to look that up. I was like, there's no way I'm going to figure this one out.
I figured that out immediately and then somehow didn't figure out the ring.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, let me think here. Ring. Rings have inscriptions. Let's have a look.
Yeah. I made that mistake there. I was like I was like, dude, I don't want to look this up, and I'm actually getting frustrated going back and forth. And then I looked at the door, and it says, like, enter passcode. And I'm like, what fucking passcode? And then I'm like, wait a minute. A ring. Let me check the ring. I look, and there's a date in it.
Yep.
So, that section, that was the only puzzle I really struggled with. The rest of the game was fairly, steady paced. I didn't really struggle with any specific point. Now, it's funny that you mentioned the skull. When I was fighting those, like, sisters...
Yeah.
The first sister, I shot the first window, and then she was like freezing or whatever it does where it like weakens them, and I had no idea I was supposed to shoot her, so I was just running like, why is she not dying? But I wasn't shooting her because I thought she was invincible still, so I that took me a minute to realize.
Oh no, that immediately clicked for
Yeah.
me. It's like she started freaking out. I'm like, okay, and then I like instinctively shot.
And you
Even
can
though it
see
did
damages
nothing
her,
before,
yeah.
and then she like reacted to it. I'm like, oh, it's working now. So I just started clicking. I just like,
And then the same thing happened with the third sister where you have like the sunroof or whatever. I was trying to shoot it and it kept saying like, oh, it won't break, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I found the lever.
see that one I also immediately figured out completely on accident because like, I didn't even see her at first. I heard music. I was like, huh. And I go, ooh, a lever. And I pulled the lever. She started freaking out.
She's creeping behind the bookcase like, and all of a sudden you hear, oh fuck, it's cold.
Well, because like that's the same shit I would do in real life. Anytime I see like something I can fiddle with,
Started pulling it.
I just
That's
got my
fucking awesome.
little monkey hands. I gotta fiddle with stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, a lever.
Just fucking cranks it. So the actual puzzles overall, I thought they were really cool. There was some really creative puzzles. And I didn't really particularly struggle with any besides that one. How did you feel about like the horror element? So the horror element was greatly subdued from RE7.
So 7 is definitely scarier.
Yeah.
You definitely have the horror game feeling of helplessness in 7. And I really do understand why a lot of horror games don't give you weapons.
Yeah. It greatly impacts your feeling of hopelessness.
Because as an American man, I always feel safe around guns all the time.
All the time.
100%, even when they're being pointed at me.
Yeah.
100% of the time, I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is okay. I'm safe in this situation.
Yeah.
I can always just accelerate a piece of lead through somebody if I need to right now. So there's a little bit of that at the very beginning. Essentially what happens is there's the cutscene. It's like 3 years after 7. And
You're having dinner.
and then Chris Redfield shoots up your house.
Literally just fucking drive-by shoots up your house with
And
an AR-15.
kills your wife.
Yeah. Kills your wife, takes you hostage.
And then you're being taken hostage, so you're being dragged away in this van, and then the van gets attacked, and you crash near a village.
Yeah. And then you fucking struggle through the woods at night.
While there's something moving around you.
That was very eerie.
That's the helplessness aspect of it. You run away for a little while because I was walking around. I'm like, okay, I know some shit's gonna pop off because it's a horror game.
Yeah.
Some shit has to pop off, right? So, and I just keep hearing there's something very big moving very fast.
Right on your left, then behind you, then on the right.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. And then I forget, do you interact with any of the lichens before the first, like when you get the gun?
No, I believe you go into the house and you open the curtain and the guy points a shotgun at you.
Yeah.
And then they attack the house because he fires.
Yeah, I was really upset that he didn't drop the shotgun when he gets pulverized.
Yeah, so basically once you get out of the woods after the crash or the attack on the van, you basically stumble across a house, you pull back a curtain, and a guy fires a 12 gauge at you, and that alerts the lichens, which are obviously like the monsters in the game, in the first area. And then he gives you a pistol, but then he gets fucking yeeted through the ceiling.
He gets pulled up through the ceiling. He gets turned into paste and doesn't drop his shotgun. So you have a pistol, which helps.
Takes like 6 or 7 shots.
You do get a shotgun very quickly.
Yeah, literally like 10 minutes after that scene.
Yeah, you get a shotgun. So after this, you get you find 2 other people, and I believe that's when you get the shotgun.
Yeah, like right around there. You find
2 other people, a father and daughter. The father's hurt. And the daughter's like, oh, yeah. And then you help him out. You get him into this stronghold, this safe house that's like a known safe house.
Mm-hmm. Louise's house.
Yes, and then the dad, he turns into a lichen and just
fucking
kills
murders
everyone. And in the process of this, knocks over a lantern and the house goes up in flames, and you escape, and then the daughter is coming with you, and it's a whole thing, and then the dad chases you up, and she's like, "No, I want to go with my dad," and then she dies.
Yeah,
she falls into the pits of
fires.
hell.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm out of here. And then your next direction essentially is there's the weird shaman lady, with the skull stick.
Yeah.
And she's like saying some stuff, and then she goes, "You might want to look in that big fuck off castle for your daughter." So you go to the castle,
And you meet Big Vampy.
and then you meet the first of the 4 lords you have to find.
Yeah.
You also meet the shopkeeper.
The Duke, man.
Duke.
I actually liked him a
What
lot
a boy.
more. I liked him way more than I thought I
He's
would.
quite a character. I saw him the first cutscene. You see him. He has this big horse-drawn carriage, and he rolls out. He's a big boy.
Big boy. His
He's a
leg is like the
big
size of your
boy.
character model.
And I'm like, oh, I already like this guy.
Yep.
But you also get an odd feeling that he's sort of like,
A villain.
he's sort of pulling the strings.
Yeah.
So maybe the Duke was the bad guy the whole time.
Maybe.
But he does make reference to the old Resident Evil shopkeepers.
Mentioned before, yeah. What are you buying?
What are you buying? What are you selling?
I fucking love it. The shotgun though, like you had mentioned. So anytime I would go in like a tight corridor or through a door or in an elevator, I would pull out the shotgun and just wait. And as soon as something would pop out, I would just blast it. So
Oh, yeah.
the shotgun really empowers you to almost feel like protected, which was pretty cool. But you do get like weapons quite a bit quicker.
Oh, yeah.
And like mean weapons, like pretty quick.
The shotgun was always my default because a shotgun there was like a 68% chance that you could one-shot kill things.
Yeah.
I thought when you're in the castle, the small bads in between the big bads were just kind of a fucking nuisance.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you would hear the music. There was music cues. The music would kick in, and you're like, okay, this is about to get annoying.
Yeah.
Because it's like 2 or 3 enemies, and it just sucks down your bullets.
Yeah.
It's just annoying. It gets better when you visit the village again after you escape the castle and do the boss fight, which was very good.
With Lady Domitress, right?
Yeah, it was a very good boss fight.
Very good boss fight.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Which
There is actually... there's a time where you have to like pull a lever or something, and your hand just gets immediately sliced off.
yeah, after so when you first get to the castle, you solve some puzzles and you have to fight the 3 daughters of Lady Domitress, which is the big vampy lady.
Yep.
After you kill her 3rd daughter, she catches you in her room, or in a room, I believe, and she smashes you through the floor down into like a wine cellar. And when you go to escape the wine cellar, you're like, oh, fuck her. She's like 50 feet in the air. You fell like wicked far. You grab the lever, and it just slow-mos your hand getting sliced off.
Your hand gets sliced clean off. And it was a situation where his hand is still on the lever. He pulls away this stump. There's blood out, and he has no reaction for about, a half a second. And he just goes, ah, shit! And then you have to loop around and pick up your hand.
And then it's fucking close.
I was dying.
Yeah.
That shit was so funny.
Yeah, that was so funny. And then you escape her. Now, we're going in a pretty good order, I feel like, from like start to finish and going as we go. One thing I did want to bring up again, as we mentioned earlier, at the end of the game, you find out Ethan's part mold. Did you catch, and obviously I didn't catch this on my first playthrough, I looked up some articles after that brought that to my head, I brought that to my mind. Do you remember when Lady Domitress tastes your blood for the first time? What she says?
Yeah, she says it's stale.
It's stale. Fucking genius.
Actually, yeah.
I love continuity.
Very,
and shit.
very good writing.
So, fucking incredible. But, yeah. The amount of times your hands get fucked up in this game.
Yeah. Your hands got a lot.
Sliced off, pinned like on a crucifix. Like, dude,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yep. So, after you finish this first boss fight, Lady Domitrescu.
Very good boss fight.
It was
Very
a good boss fight.
Is it House Benevenito or whatever?
You get...
That's nuts.
Well, I don't lead into that. If you give me a minute, Jordan.
God damn. All right, man. God damn.
You find this little jar, this little flask. Jar. Your little yellow flask, and you are like, okay, cool. It just prompts you to pick it up, and you pick it up, and you bring it back to the village for your second visit to the village, and still with no
Context.
sign of your daughter, really. She wasn't at the castle. So you go back, you meet up with the Duke, and he says, well, you have your daughter right there. And you pull up the flask, and it has your daughter's name on it, and it says head. Like, oh, Christ. Okay, well, fuck. Okay. So, she's in pieces. And you have to find the 4 flasks. And each of the flasks was given to the lords of certain houses. The first one was Lady Domitrescu. The second one was
Beneviento.
Beneviento. The third one was the fish guy.
Morin? What the fuck's his name?
The least
Modin.
memorable.
And then Modin is his name.
Least memorable
House Modin.
Character.
Least memorable. He's like the shortest one too. Like the shortest.
Oh, he was a bitch.
Yeah.
And then there was Heisenberg.
Heisenberg, my friend.
So your next stop is the Beneviento. I'm still unsure if that's right, but
it's either Benevento or Beneviento. I think it's Viento though.
I think it's Viento as well, but yeah. So that's when the game turns from so you have horror game section,
Beneviento. Yeah.
Horror game section, action shooty game section, and then that's when the game turns into an actual horror game.
Mm-hmm.
That portion of the game is it's like an hour of the game.
Yeah, like a 45 to an hour. Yeah, for sure.
And it's horrifying. I thought that part was very scary. You get your weapons taken away
immediately. One of the first thing that happens in that section. Yep.
And essentially, you have to solve a couple puzzles. You're put in a room with a doll, a puppet doll
of Mia,
and you have to pull her apart and get little things. And you have to get keys and film strips and stuff out of her.
Yeah, and watch videos and shit like that. Yeah, so they're all just puzzle oriented.
And then you advance, and then you get chased by a big fetus monster.
Yeah, and that's not even a descriptor word. It's a literal fetus.
Yeah, it's
monster.
like a big baby bitch. I hated that thing. I hated it so much because I was like, oh, okay. And then it approached me and just vored me immediately.
Yeah.
I was fucking eaten.
That section, as sadistic and fucked up as it is,
I enjoyed
one
that a
of
lot.
my favorites.
That was probably my favorite section of the game.
When you first come across the baby monster, you have to turn because it's the end of the hallway and run back, and you basically hide under a bed. And when
that's the second time.
Oh,
that's
is it the second time?
The first time you still have to run back and then juke it.
You have to juke it, yeah.
But essentially, I remember when it was following me. You have to juke it around the table that the Mia doll is on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming down the hallway, and I let it around one side of the table. It turned, and I went around the table. I ran, and I went, "You fucking little retard!" And I ran back, and I booked it. And then the second interaction you have with this baby monster is you do something. What is it you do?
I think you have to get the fuse.
Yes, yeah. So
there's a breaker box that shuts
There's
the
a
lights
breaker
down.
box that shuts off. You open the breaker box. You get the key for the breaker box. You go back to the breaker box. Breaker box is empty. It's not a breaker box. It's a fuse box. So there's a fuse in there. There's no fuse in there. That's the issue. So you have to get the fuse.
Yeah, to turn on the elevator to escape the baby man.
Yeah. So It's more of a baby slug than a baby man.
Yeah.
But I went and you go to get the fuse and you're like, okay, this will be easy. And it wasn't easy. There was
Baby slug.
It's easy once you figure out what you're doing.
Yeah.
But basically I think you get the fuse, you turn around and you immediately get jump scared by big baby bitch.
Coming around a corner.
You have to run back, hide under a bed, or go. You said you go into a closet.
No, it's under the bed.
It's always.
I think there's two, but you can. I went under the bed, yeah, and I'm not sure if there's like a closet, but
I forget who I was talking to. He went into a
he's
closet.
the only other one who played it, I think, of our friend group. So
he went into a closet. So you can go into a closet.
Yeah.
So, but I went under the bed. I saw it little hands go around the bed, and then I crawled backwards towards the door, and I go, "You fucking idiot!" And every time I juked I did it with Lady Domitresque. I did it a lot with the baby bitch. I was like, "You idiot! You absolute fool!" And I would run around.
That section when I hid under the bed, so I had seen the bed previously, so I knew I could hide there. So I went around the bed, so I was facing the door, because you can't turn under the bed. It's weird. You can only go forward or backward, like a tunnel almost. So I specifically faced the door. I watched the feet go by, and then I crawled through it. Dude, that section with good headphones, good audio, you hear the baby like crying. You just hear like dun, 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 coming. It's actually like fucking tense.
It's pretty tense.
It's a top-notch section.
And then and then you put the fuse in, hit the thing, it goes down, and baby's approaching you, running up on you. You get in the elevator, it closes, and he's just standing there. Yeah. He's looking at you.
He's just like,
yeah. And then you ascend,
and you gotta fight the doll.
And then you gotta fight the doll, but you still have no weapons, so you pick up a thing of scissors. You gotta find the thing 3 times.
Stab it in the head.
And stab it in the head. That's where the second flies thing happens.
Turns out to be a bitch, a woman.
Turns out to be a woman. You stab her in the eye with scissors.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the second Lord.
That is the second Lord. It's the shortest of the 4, and the fucking scariest.
I will say that was a good section of game, but the other 2 lords, Lady Domitresque and Heisenberg, were the only good lords, I think.
Yeah. Well, they were the only ones that were like kind of fleshed out. Like the doll was just there.
Was just kind of there. Scary. I was like, that's it.
And then the fish is just the fucking fish.
And then you go and you gotta fight this big fish guy.
The best part of the fish guy is hearing him put himself down.
Yeah.
Fucking loser.
So you go into like this mine, and
He's watching TV.
You find the 3rd flask.
Yeah.
And you just go, "Hey, dum-dum," and you just take it, essentially.
Literally, you peek in through like a hole. He's watching like a static television, mumbling. You just grab it, and Ethan just goes, like, he just like starts talking shit, and the thing turns.
I don't know, you could have just said nothing.
And just left.
And he could have just left, and he wouldn't have been any the wiser, and you wouldn't have had to fight the big fish bitch.
Yeah.
So, but regardless, he does it anyway, because he can't keep his goddamn mouth shut.
Hashtag video game protagonist.
I found a stick in my shoe. So
then the fish is like,
yeah,
I trapped you in here, and then these like fucking pus modules just come off the wall.
Yeah, but he also didn't trap you because you can just shoot him.
Yeah.
So you escape the mine.
Yeah.
And then you have to go to like a different section in the mine to get a boat key to escape. But then he turns from a guy into a fish, and he starts. Yeah. And then you meet up with Chris again, Chris Redfield, and
he gets fucking blown apart with you. You guys get separated.
You get separated. You have a brief meeting, and then you get separated again.
Yep.
By the fish boy, and then you have to get
turn on the power to then drain the water.
Yeah, you have to start spinning 2 windmills to open a sluice gate. And then you open this sluice gate, drain water.
And the fish is pissed.
And the fish is pissed, bro. He's pissed. And then you just shoot him bunch. You blow him up.
And then, instead of being a fish, he's like, fuck this, and starts walking.
Yeah, he becomes a man again. A big man.
Big man. So then you fight him. He puts himself down the whole time. It's awesome. He's like, no one loves me. He's like,
yeah,
crawling.
you're like, you damn right. So I was throwing bombs and shit at him.
That was
stupid idiot.
That was the other section where I lagged like crazy with the particle effect when he spits the acid rain.
Oh yeah, he spits his fucking snot everywhere.
He shoots like snot, right? And one of the specific things is there's these yellow painted like tents, and you have to hide in them when he spits up because it's like acid rain. As soon as he would spit up, if I wasn't in the tent already, I would start taking damage, but I would get like a half a frame a second.
I didn't have any issues like that with that.
Did he ever hit you with it though?
Once,
and that was with him spitting up, not at you. Like when he spit at me, it was fine. But when he
first
does
time,
like the rain,
first time he did that,
it fucking
he hit
dropped
me,
my.
but
frame
I didn't have
rate.
any issues like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you kill him.
He's all depressed. This is whatever.
It just doesn't matter.
It's like fuck this fish guy. He's kind of boring.
Fuck this fish bitch. So you then you have to you go back into the mine, and you go and you see the TV that he was at.
Yeah. Heisenberg's
and
like, hey,
Heisenberg
bitch.
talks to you through the TV.
Yeah.
That was
makes
strange.
Sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
Somehow it's a two-way form of communication because you speak back to him.
Yeah. Well, Big Brother, you know.
Strange. He's got a 1984 what are they called, telescreens?
Yeah.
I read the book once.
Yeah.
So he's like he's talking to him. He goes, "Hey, I just gotta go back to the thing." And then you go back to the village. There's signs up that lead you
And
to
he's
his...
like, hey, idiot, this way.
Yeah, that lead you to his factory.
Much better than the street signs we have around here. I knew exactly where I was going.
Yeah.
So yeah, then you get to his factory.
So you go to the factory, and that's the point of no return.
That's where he wants to be boys at the factory.
Yeah, that's true, because he wants to kill Miranda too. The lords are under Miranda.
She's like the god, and they're just her disciples.
Under mommy Miranda.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck it. He knows what's going on. Yeah. He's like, we're just experiments, and you're gonna be an experiment too.
So let's get your baby. Let's fuck this bitch. Let's get out.
Yeah, let's get out, you and me, bud. And he goes, nah, fuck you. And they set up the scene so obviously. So essentially, what happens is you get down to this big area when you're in when you first get into the factory, in this room, and he's there.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
There's this noise from underneath.
Like a gate on the floor.
There's a gate on the floor, and then there's a big noise. It sounds like someone's revving their truck. And he opens the gate and goes, "Hey, shut the fuck up!" And he shuts the gate. And
well, the best part is he leaves it open, I think.
Oh no, he does. Yeah, he does leave the
literally says, "Shut the fuck up!" and
the
leaves
gate
it open.
And then it makes a noise again, and he goes, "Shut your fucking hole!" He says that. It's legitimately what he says. And he puts a chair facing away from the hole, right on the edge. I'm like, come on.
And then he goes, "Hey, Ethan, take a seat."
Yeah, he goes, "Ethan, take a seat." And then you go and you take a seat.
Well, no, that's the best part. Ethan goes, "I'm not going to take a seat." And he fucking grabs you and
he puts you there. I'm like, what? How could this be set up any more obviously? And then the conversation goes south. He goes, "No." Ethan goes, "No, fuck you. I'm going to kill you anyway. I don't like you.
Yeah.
Die." And he goes, "Okay, whatever." And he kicks you in the chest and you fall backwards with the big thing.
Yeah.
And it's a big metal guy with a fan on his face.
In fairness, in that scene, as much as it was obvious, the story for Ethan actually builds a bit more than that, where he doesn't kick you in. He kicks you in and grabs you and then says, "Go down there or come with me." And Ethan goes, "Fuck you," and takes his hand off
that's also
and goes,
true.
"Let me go." And then he lets him go.
He also does do that.
That was supposed to be like a pinnacle of Ethan was like a bitch in Resident Evil 7, and now in 8 he's just like, "Fuck this, I'll go down there and kill that thing."
Yeah.
But the way it's set up is so obvious.
Yeah.
So obvious. But it's still good.
I will say, I hated Heisenberg. I hated his dialogue.
I hated his dialogue was bad.
It was so bad.
Did he not sound like Johnny Silverhand?
A little bit.
Holy shit, he had the intonation of Johnny Silverhand.
Because, well,
Cyberpunk.
the thing about I thought the same thing about Johnny Silverhand's performance. Keanu Reeves' performance as Johnny Silverhand. It was just kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Like
no one would talk like that.
Yeah. And it felt like it was just a sort of phoned in performance.
Yeah.
and the dialogue was just weird and awkward, and I didn't like it.
I would have preferred if they swapped him and Lady Domitresk. I mean, for plot reasons, it makes sense that he would be like the rebellious one, because he was kind of like the little brother or whatever.
Yeah.
But her performance was way better, and she
it
was
was
not in the
very
game
good.
long enough at all.
It was very good. She was very well acted.
But he was still a decent character. His dialogue was just shit. But
yeah, Ethan had a couple questionable dialogue moments.
He had a couple V moments from Cyberpunk.
Yeah, especially like right after the chick dies. I forget her name.
Anna, whatever the fuck her name was. I think it's Anna. When she falls in the fire,
when she falls, she's like, "Why is everyone dying on me?"
He punches the wall.
Yeah, he punches the wall.
Everyone keep dying. That's
like,
literally what he does,
bro.
And literally, it was like people he just met that died.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's like you met this woman 38 seconds ago,
and you're looking for your missing child for the wife that just got shot, and you're like in love with her already. Like, what the fuck?
He's a quick man. He got over it. He's already trying to get out.
He was gonna just take her and leave. He's like, "This is my rose now, baby."
Yeah,
walking out the gate with her.
So, where was I? You fall into the thing. You're pushed into the thing.
And there's a fucking V8.
And then there's a guy with a big fan face. He's a big metal fan on his face, and he's a big guy. And he runs at you, and you escape.
Yeah.
And
did you find any notes in that section? Or did you read any of the notes in the game? I know you're not a huge fan of notes, but
a few of them.
There's a note in that area that I found that I thought was really cool. That it's when he was created, the big fan guy. So he's basically an engine with a fan blade. And he chases you, and he has no arms. And the note says, "Trial number 1 started the fan, but accidentally cut his own arms off." So I was like, "Oh, this is fucking cool."
What an actual fool!
That's funny as shit. But yeah, he was actually a fairly tough fight. Like at some points, he had a couple moments. He also jump scares the fuck at you.
This is true, but essentially, you are touring through this factory, and in this factory, there's more experiments with the mold being done by Heisenberg himself.
It's like cybernetic fucking creatures.
And what he's doing is he's turning people into like drill people.
Yeah.
He's putting the like mold in them and then putting a power source in them and then giving them drills for arms.
Yeah.
But they also can't see. They just go on like hearing. So you can dodge them fairly easily. But also if you shoot them in the power source like 4 times, they'll die.
Yeah, they'll blow up. And you get good shit for it. You can sell to the Duke.
That's true. You get the mechanical hearts, the crystal hearts.
And you can sell them for like, I think it was like 6,000 or some shit.
Yeah.
To Duke, so it's good.
So you fight those guys. You make your way through the factory. And then there's
you meet Chris again.
Yeah.
You fucking pop open a door and Chris is there. And
he's just chilling.
Just wooling with like a tank. Fucking wooling.
Damn.
He tells you the story essentially.
Yeah.
He tells you what's going on. Miranda was Mia. That's why he iced her in the beginning.
That's why she was shot.
Yeah. So Miranda was actually Mia. They don't know where real Mia is at the time. She was blending in with Ethan as his wife to then try to coerce him into joining her as like another lord or like an experiment.
Yeah.
And yeah, he iced her, but it turns out she's a shapeshifter, so she took the form of a dead person. And then when they put her and you in the truck, she was like, no, and she busted out of the truck, and that's why you crashed.
Yeah.
And, Then he gives you keys to a tank.
Yeah.
Tank
he just gives you a tank, and then you go fight Heisenberg.
With a tank.
With a tank, an actual improvised tank that Chris Redfield built underground.
Yeah. And he
that was a batshit part of the game.
It went nuts there.
That boss fight went fucking bananas. Actually, that was a good boss fight.
Good boss fight, yeah. It was a good arcadey fun boss fight. I was just kind of like clicking like the whole time.
Well, yeah, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And the character design for Heisenberg, it's like he turns into like this robot saw monster.
Yeah, this
fucking
big freak. Awesome. So you kill him, and then Miranda shows up.
And she kills you.
And then she rips your heart right out of your chest.
Yep.
So you think that's it, Ethan's done. You reincarnate as Chris Redfield.
Yep. Which is another badass part of the game because you have like a P90.
Yeah, you have an assault rifle now with like infinite ammo essentially. so much ammo that the amount doesn't even really matter.
Yeah.
And you have like grenades.
It's like 800 ammo. You have like 5 grenades, a pistol with like another 300 ammo. Like I still had like 400 ammo by the end of that.
Yeah, so you just like you shoot a bunch of guys and you have to search for the mega mycete,
which is like the heart of
the
this.
heart of the mold, the big
mold,
guy. So you find this and you throw a bomb in it, like a bomb that sticks to it. So it's just on the mycete, and you're like, he says, we're gonna get out of here, basically.
But I want to kill Miranda.
Yeah. So he gets to kill Miranda first, and then he's gonna blow up the bomb, which is gonna detonate the whole village.
Yep. And completely kill the mold. It's basically like an interconnected species almost, and it'll just wipe it out.
Yeah. Then there's like a dream sequence.
With Ethan, you're saying?
With Ethan.
Well, so the way it builds up to it, though, a little bit different. You actually find Mia. As Chris, you find Mia.
You find Mia. She's like, Ethan's different.
He's special.
He has a secret or whatever. And then there's this dream sequence
where Elizabeth, or what was that her name? Elizabeth.
I think it was.
Evelyn from Resident Evil 7 is tormenting you. And she's like, "You're already dead, stupid."
Yeah,
and she explains what happened.
She explains to you that, oh, you're a mold man. You're a mold person.
You showed up at the Baker residence, Jack killed you, and then you woke up.
And you became a mold man.
Yeah, and you woke up as a mold man with, with your abilities. And what I thought was kind of funny there was, the whole time you're thinking, like, this is Resident Evil. That's why his hand gets chopped off. He pours some magic juice on it.
Yeah,
but she literally...
I was like, oh, it's a video game.
She literally goes, how do you think you could always get hurt and never die, stupid? And he's like, but
the shmoo, you put it on your hand, it reattaches it.
Yeah, and I just thought that was cool that they even went that route. So you get the big reveal. Ethan's a mold man, and then all of a sudden,
wakes up.
All of a sudden, he just wakes up and he's like, "What the fuck?"
He's in the Duke's cart.
Yeah, the Duke saved your ass.
Yeah, the guy, and he goes. Ethan goes, "Take me to Miranda," and he goes, "Oh, I figured that," and he's already taking you there.
He's already taking you there, and he tells you, stay well, and this isn't gonna end well, but stay well, have fun. It's literally what he tells you.
Yeah, and then you buy whatever else you need to buy, and then you go, and you fight Miranda, and then you die again.
But permanently this time.
So essentially, what happens is you're like on your way out. You have
like
Rose
stumbling,
and you meet up with Chris, and you're walking to this helicopter because Chris wants to get you out of there, and then and Chris has the detonator for this bomb on the big mega mycete, and you give. Essentially, what happens is you're about to die. You stumble.
You're also deteriorating.
You're deteriorating. You're falling apart, and so basically, Ethan hands Chris Rose and takes the detonator from him
and
pushes him away.
Yeah,
and. So Chris goes back to this helicopter, and he goes, "We gotta get out of here." And Mia's freaking out, but she has the baby, but there's no Ethan's gone. So Chris kind of explains it a little bit, and then he blows up the mega mycete.
And that's that. They fly away.
And that's it. And then it goes, it flashes on screen the text. It gives text that said, "The father's story is over."
Yeah.
It was weird the way they did that, but... Okay, so there is you escape. Essentially, there's the weird text that says the father's story is done, and then it plays credits, and then there's a short post game credits, not post credits scene that that's essentially like a cutscene with Rose. She's grown up now. She's no longer a baby.
No.
And that's it, really. She's visiting Ethan's grave, and she gets taken by
an agent.
An agent.
Into a car.
Oh, there is one other part that's really important when you're escaping. When Chris is told that the mold that was there, that they found, originated there.
Yeah.
So that is kind of important. So they're dealing with a unique sort of strain of mold.
Yeah.
So it definitely did set up another game. So
now 2 things I want to talk about. Number 1, that end credits scene. Did you see the guy at the end of the road when they're driving?
Got the end of the road.
So the scene ends with them driving down a road, and there's a guy on the side of the road standing there in the middle of the road. Did you see that? You might not have been able to make it out. It's very small. It stays super zoomed out.
I didn't make it out.
If you go into photo mode and you move the camera over to that guy, it's Ethan. No one knows if it's really him or if they just reused an asset because it's super far in the distance.
That is possible.
But it is him that it shows, his character model at least. So that was kind of cool. Again, don't know if it's really him or if it's just a reused asset, but that's how it ends.
Maybe Resident Evil 9, he becomes the bad guy.
And Rose has to, like, kill him or something.
And that's, like, that would be an interesting point of internal conflict, I think.
That would be. There was, I had a secret area that I found that was, like, a little off the beaten path that made reference to the Baker family. In a cave, there was, like, the megamycite or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was, like, notes that referenced, I believe it was part of how it originated there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was talking about the Bakers, and you actually find, I ended up picking it up, and I didn't find any use for it. I think it was just a collectible.
Yeah.
The antique coin that you would use in Resident Evil 7.
That was the shop in 7, essentially. You would find little coins.
It was cool. I looked at the coin, I'm like, this looks like the one from 7. And then I inspected it, and he goes, this looks like it's from the Baker family.
I believe I did find that.
Yeah.
I believe I did find that. So that was the story. That was like a huge spoiler, just moment to moment of the story. We gave our takes on each, like, beat of the story. Any, like, noteworthy specific moments? Because I have a few.
Like, in my playthrough, you're saying?
Yeah.
I had a few, like, good AI jump scares. Not so much, like, scripted ones, but, like, opening a door and there's, like, a monster on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
There's an interesting one I want to talk about.
But let me just briefly look. I don't think I have anything super noteworthy, just beyond, a couple interesting scares, the puzzles. The Lady D was underused. Yeah, Moreau, by the way, is his name.
Moreau. Yeah, it was just call him bitch.
Yeah, the enemy design is really cool, and that's really about it. So what memorable moments did you have?
Okay, so when you have to find the crank for the jack for the tractor?
Yeah.
So you find the photo, and on the back of the photo it says "Look out the window."
Mm-hmm.
And you look out the window. I go, look out the window. This is gonna be a jump scare, isn't it? So I look out the window, and there's 3 numbers that line up, and that's the combination for the safe in the room. So you can get the crank, and you get a weapon. Is it the pistol?
It's the second pistol, the auto pistol, the M19, I believe.
The 1911. Yeah. So you look out the window, and it's just long enough. I'm like, oh, it wasn't a jump scare. It was just a combination. And then a lichen pops up. He just shows up. And I actually screamed. I was like, is this going to be a jump scare? Oh, it's not a jump scare. And, like, 3 seconds. Like,
You're reading the combination.
Yeah, like, a long enough time goes by that you're like, okay, it's not a jump scare. You calm down. Your expectations of a jump scare go away, and then the jump scare happens. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay. And that was how it went.
That's fucking awesome, dude. That was a good scene. I liked that, the way they paced it. I had a couple moments like that when you're like exploring the dark caves and the monsters come out of the water and shit. A couple moments like that.
Yeah.
That was definitely the best one though, and that was obviously a scripted one, but it was still really fucking cool.
It was terrifying.
Pretty terrifying.
There was a couple interesting moments where when you get the grenade launcher, and you have to, I think it might be the second time you interact with one of those big werewolves. Mm-hmm. Because the first time, and you initially get the grenade launcher, where you interact with it. The second time, there's a house that you go into, and you go through the other side of the house, and there's the werewolf out there. And I immediately figured out that it wouldn't chase you back into the house. Mm-hmm. So I would run out take a shot at it, and then run back into the house.
And then it would lose sight and just keep doing its thing.
Yeah. So, I figured that out. I did some weird things like that with Lady Domitresque.
Yeah.
You can duck into the Duke's shop. Mm-hmm. So I put the last mask in the statue to drop the door. And it's right next to the Duke's shop. But she was there, like in the center. So I put the mask, I juked her, and I ran into the Duke's shop. And the door was still open, and she was just looking at me. And I go, "You fool." And she leaves, and then I ran out.
Yeah. I wish they had more Mr. X moments with her, though.
Yeah, she was more just annoying. Mm-hmm. I think.
She, like, just pops up sometimes, and you just juke her.
Yeah, 'cause she doesn't ever run.
She doesn't ever run. You can just block her, too. I don't know if you ever tried blocking her. Literally does no damage to you. You just block her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It took me a while to figure out about parrying as well.
I never did any of that.
Yeah, it makes it way easier.
Oh, I just ran and then juked.
Yeah. What's funny is when you parry her, it doesn't do anything. So he just, like, kicks her in the cooter and punches her, and she just stands there looking at you.
Damn. That's how it be sometimes, though.
And did you see the Reddit video of the guy who modded a fly swatter in the game?
I have seen this.
That was fucking hysterical. Man, that lady, they did not put her in the game enough. But
yeah,
I used the sniper a lot. Did you use it a lot? I was quick scoping like crazy with that thing.
When I had to, I used it.
I had that gun, the second shotgun, the T29 or whatever, T79, whatever the fuck it is. And the stock pistol. I didn't like the M19. I used the stock
I used
pistol.
the 1911 a lot.
And I had those like fully kitted, maxed out. And I loved using the sniper, dude. I used the sniper like a lot. Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
I used it a few times. I used it when I had to. Like there was moments where I'm like, I'm out of bullets.
You could collateral with it too.
So I would use the sniper.
Yeah, I was trying to collateral whenever I had low ammo, but
yeah, I did that a lot with. I tried to do that a lot with mines and pipe bombs. Mm-hmm. Where like if I was being chased, I would do like a Black Ops Zombies kind of thing.
Get them all
where
hoarded.
I'd run them around and then put a mine down in front of me and then run, and then it would kill like 6 of them at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, explosives are very friendly in that game. It takes out like a massive area.
Oh yeah.
But any other memorable moments?
When you first get the grenade launcher, it immediately reinstilled confidence in me, because that's where you get fucked up by this big werewolf. He grabs you, he throws you around.
Yeah.
And you get this, and you just pick up a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
So. And then you have to search for the werewolf because he's just like not just immediately there. You have to search for him again. And I go, I got something for you, dum dum. And I'm like searching for him, and I shoot him like a million times with this grenade launcher.
And he just fucking dies.
Fool. There are moments in that game where it's like you go from, oh, this is terrifying, I'm boned, to I am actually God right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I am indestructible.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's moments where like you just barely like escape an enemy, and then you just find like 15 shotgun shells, and you're just like, oh,
easy mode.
Easy mode, right?
Easy
baby?
mode has been engaged.
Open up the door and just
essentially,
knock, knock. Open up the door. It's real. Fucking gets in the door and starts killing everything in sight.
Everything, actually.
But man, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Resident Evil 9 is gonna be the same thing, like a first person,
I hope so.
Adventure, but
well, I mean, it was called 7, but it was basically a reboot of the series.
Yeah.
So, the second in line of the reboots. So I wouldn't expect.
In fairness, this is supposed to be a trilogy, 7, 8, and 9.
That's fair.
It's supposed to be like a trilogy, so I'm assuming 9 would probably be you play as fucking the daughter. They're probably gonna pull like a Dishonored, where you have your guns and you also have powers, because she obviously has powers.
Yeah.
And then 10 will be 10 or whatever they call it. But very freaking good.
Very good.
Good. I can't wait for DLC. There's got to be DLC. They had really cool DLC for 7.
They did, yeah.
So.
I did have a comment to make, and I just immediately forgot.
Alzheimer's be like.
Yeah. I think it's the same idea as what they did with God of War, where like, all that other stuff happened from the other last games, but this is an entirely new incident, essentially.
Yeah.
This is an entirely new thing with elements from the last game.
Yeah.
Just kind of amped up.
Yeah.
And this is more for new players than anything else. So I assume you kind of have to do that every so often with a series that's as long as Resident Evil is.
Yeah.
Like RE1 was Christ. A long time ago.
Was it the late 90s? It was like PS1 era.
It might have been PS1.
I'm positive it was PS1.
Let me get a definitive.
Get a timeline, baby. I want to see every game.
All right. I'm gonna get you a Resident Evil release date timeline. Resident Evil all release dates. All Resident Evil games and films in order of release. So Resident Evil, the first game was 1996.
Yep.
So that was like N64 era.
Yeah.
Like Mario 64 came out in 96.
Yep. That's fucking crazy, dude.
Resident Evil 2 was 98. Resident Evil 3 was 99. Resident Evil Code Veronica was 2000. The film Resident Evil was 02. Resident Evil 0 was 2002 as well. Resident Evil Apocalypse, the film, was 2004. Resident Evil 4 was 05. Resident Evil Extinction, another film, was 07. Resident Evil Degeneration, another film, was 2008. Resident Evil 5 was 2009. Resident Evil Afterlife, another film, 2010. Resident Evil Revelations was 2012. Resident Evil Retribution, the film, was 2012. And Resident Evil 6 was 2012. Damnation, another film, 2012. Revelations 2, 2015.
Very good game. Love Revelations 2.
Resident Evil The Final Chapter, another movie, was 2016. 7 was 2017, and Resident Evil Vendetta, the film, was 2017.
So it wasn't the final chapter.
So it wasn't the final chapter.
And then 2021 was Village, baby.
2021 was Village. So, like, Resident Evil 6 was 2012.
Also, I dare you to look at the reviews for that game.
It was a 6.7.
Yeah.
People didn't like that one.
People did not like that one. Like, fans did not like that one.
Which is a fair reason why I think they would want to do the reboot.
Yeah, from 7.
Because I remember, like, I don't know, I read the year 2012. It doesn't feel that long ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, I was like 11 in 2012, bro.
Yeah, same.
I was like 11. It just doesn't feel that long ago that I was watching, like, like IGN release notes for Resident Evil 6.
Yeah.
Like, yo, there's already 6 of them. And I watched some gameplay. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. And then I never heard anything about it after that. And then years and years later, I was watching something. Like when Resident Evil 7 came out, 2017. I was watching some podcast or another. Or a video or something. And they mentioned how shit Resident Evil 6 was. I was like, oh, okay. That's why I haven't heard the name Resident Evil in a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, 7 was awesome. 8's fucking awesome. I highly recommend you play it. Obviously, we just spoiled everything, but
but I imagine if you're this far in,
you definitely
either played it or don't care.
But yeah, it's awesome.
It's pretty good. It was pretty good. All right. Now we've been talking for probably what we're gonna cut in probably an hour and 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
We're at an hour 32 on the recording, but there's some stuff we have to cut out. What would you boil all this conversation down to in a number? What's your number rating out of 10?
Are we doing decimals or just with solid numbers?
Decimals are fine.
I'd say 8.5.
8.5. I would say 8. I would say 8.
I was really between 8 and 9. So I'm just going to go right in the middle, 8.5.
An 8 for Resident Evil 8.
Yep, there you go. I'm going to give it a Village for Resident Evil Village.
Well, yeah, because the 8 was very subtle in the branding.
Yeah,
So,
literally, like the name is Resident Evil Village, and then all of a sudden the VIII just turns like yellow,
yeah.
like briefly. But
Which is so. I wonder what they're gonna do with 9, because they do IX. Resident Evil 6, and it's just the IX is highlighted, so it's just we're doing this one again. It's just god awful.
Resident Evil Dits, but it's just DI.
It's just the worst game ever made. Actually,
Stits.
it's like 2 sticks, and they just kind of move in circles, and they move around, and you don't even interact with the game, and it just ends whenever it feels like.
And it says the Stitz story is now done. Oh man.
I wish, like, maybe not game developers, but like movies were like just out of pocket shit like that.
Yeah.
I wish movies were like movies just had more fuck shit in them, honestly. If Godzilla vs. Kong had like a scene where like King Kong picks up Godzilla, throws him 380 feet in the air, and just pulls out 2 pistols and starts shooting the shit out of him like Yosemite Sam, I think that would be really funny.
Yeah.
We need more wild shit in movies, I think.
Yeah. That is true.
But yeah, I give it 8 for Village.
Yeah, I give it an 8.5 because it was very good. Now I do wish, like in Resident Evil 7, Ethan was just kind of a guy, and then in 8 he kind of turns into like this actually likable, complete protagonist.
I mean, he kind of was just a guy.
Yeah, exactly. And by 8 they flush him out as like a character, and you start to be like, I kind of like this guy. You know, he's not like, you know, people see Chris Redfield and like, holy shit, it's fucking Chris Redfield. In 7, it was like, yeah, you're Ethan Winters, no big deal. He has no backstory. He's just looking for his wife, whatever. In 8, it's like, oh, I kind of like him as a character. He has more, you know, dialogue. He's a little bit more likable. You can kind of see his motives and this and that. And then he just dies.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited for whatever's next. DLC 9.
Resident Evil 9. Chris Redfield. It's gonna be Chris Redfield standing in a dark room, and he's just gonna explode. That's the whole game. Chris Redfield's gonna die in the next one. I'm gonna call this now. Hold me to this. How long did it take? 3.5 years.
Yeah.
For Resident Evil.
Well,
between the Resident Evils.
3.5.
So 3.5 years from now, if Chris Redfield dies in Resident Evil 9, I told you so. I'm calling this now.
That'll be approximately. Let's see. Approximately 156, about 185 episodes from now.
Yeah.
So, 180 episodes from now, this is 41. So we'll just say around 221, you might call it.
I might call it.
So look out for episode 221 coming soon to you.
Soon
in
to
3.5
near
years.
you. Okay, so I think that we did a good enough explanation of the game. We talked about it.
Yeah, we started off a little scatterbrained, and then we really honed in on going plot-wise just through the story. Hopefully, you enjoyed whatever, just kind of hearing our thoughts, our opinions, maybe even just like a little recap of the story. Because I know sometimes even after I play a game, I like to just kind of get involved in that community per se, and just look up some like articles and just see what people are saying. So if you like videos like this or podcasts like this, let us fucking know. We like doing spoiler casts, kind of cool because we get to bullshit on things we like, and that would be Village today. So is that the end of the show, Chris?
I think so. I think
All
that's
right.
the end of the show.
So, if you want to listen to more podcasts, whether it be normal podcast, spoiler cast, definitely listen in on either YouTube. We post IRL content there. I sound like I said
You
IRL
just call
cunt.
me an IRL cunt?
Yeah, cunt hair.
Rude.
We post the IRL content there fairly infrequently, but we're working on it. We have a new one coming out very shortly. Stay tuned for that here on the YouTube channel. Also, if you just want to hear the audio version, podcast version, find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and of course the handy dandy RSS feed. Import that to your favorite app. Listen to us there. And as always, you can contact us. Comment section here on YouTube. Instagram, Synapse Misfire. That's our handle. And also via email at synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, death threats. And Micah, if you made it this far and you're still listening, thanks for the support. Look out for our answer next episode.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, brother.
So
That's it for us.
Yeah, that's it. Next episode's gonna be wild.
Look out for Alex, the man, the myth, the main bitch, Alex.
Yes.
Watch him flake on us, and then we just said this like 7 times in this episode. I will fucking end him.
He's gonna actually die this week.
Oh no.
That's probably gonna happen. He's gonna get into a car crash. He's gonna do a car crash.
We'll use his
He's
corpse.
Gonna flip 37 times. He's just gonna be the only thing they can recover. The only reason they know it's Alex is because of the dental records.
Yeah. So we'll just have a jar of his teeth. We'll shake it.
We'll
That'll
shake
be
it
him
and
talking.
go,
Oh, thank you, Alex. It's like a salt shaker.
and I put it on my food.
And then we eat it. Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Get out of my house. I thought you had something else to add.
Shut up, bitch.